This is Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear. I'm excited because I'm locked into Beyond Ringside.
The microphones go hot, and we are live on a Tuesday night kind of thing. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics, live from Studio One in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Glad to have everybody on board this evening. Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, live behind the control panel. And ladies and gentlemen, we're kicking it off right in every way possible. Joining me right off the bat, professional wrestling legend, a former world heavyweight champion, tag team champion, six-man tag champion. This man has held more titles than I've got active brain cells. He is the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff. Mr. Koloff, welcome back to Beyond Ringside, sir.
Thank you, comrade. It is indeed a pleasure to be at ringside with you folks. Just the idea of being able to reach out there to all the fans. I mean, this is not only the fans that ended up booing me, and I know that's a lot of them, but the ones that threw these rotten apples at me and tried to trip me up on the way to ring or throw a right cross or left at me. I've had it all. So I'd like to shake each and every one of the fans' hands because what an experience it's been for me all these years of wrestling, and even at times getting very close to the fans, so close that we're in combat against each other. So I can remember different incidents that happened from Puerto Rico to Japan to the Midwest. Oh, man, just all over. Some exciting time. It takes about 2 weeks to tell you all the stories.
Oh, believe me, I'd love to hear them. But you make the reference to being one of the most hated men in professional wrestling history. Was there ever, what was one city that you actually were afraid something was going to genuinely happen?
Well, the night that I won the belt from Bruno Sammartino, I really felt that the crowd was ready for riot. Only because I had been in a riot before that. In Montreal area, I was tagged up one night with Ernie the Cat Lad and against the Rougeaus for the tag team belts, world tag team belts, and it was a 2 out of 3 falls. We won one fall, was disqualified the other fall, but you had to pin the guys to win, and we ended up having blood on them. They were all messed up, and the fans couldn't take it any longer. They thought their heroes were going to get beat, so they ended up filled the ring up with chairs in Montreal, and we knew it was time to get out of there. And I even said to the Cat, I says, "Hey, Cat, they've gone crazy. What do we do?" He says, "Pick up a chair, kid, and use it as a shield."
Yeah.
We're heading for the dressing room. And we did, all the way back. Chairs were hitting us, and we were blocking them. And so I knew at the Gardens that night when I won belt for Bruno Sammartino that it was ready for that same type of situation. So definitely wanted to comment. Whenever they told me, whenever I asked for the belt, after I realized, to my astonishment, that I got a 1, 2, 3 on Bruno, that the people were not going to accept it, and I was in trouble there. I wasn't going to get no belt. The referee told me no, and because he felt it himself, and ended up taking his word for it and going back to the back, and they ended up presenting me with the belt there.
Now,
it was scary.
Making a reference to violence and possible riots, when the Worldwide Wrestling Federation Championship came around, WWF was very much personality based, but also technical expertise, and they wanted the heels to be a little bit on the violent side. When you came to Crockett and some of the other companies, they accelerated what you would call the brutality of it, the violent side of it, as well as the personality side. If you had to go back, and I know this is calling on a lot of matches, which do you consider to be one of your more violent matches that you've been a part of, whether it be singles, tag, or six-man?
Let me see. Probably one of them that comes to mind would be against Abdullah the Butcher in Hull, Quebec. The people up there, I guess, sort of hated both of us, but I was more or less the favorite against Abdullah. And, a match with him, there was blood all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And, and even part of my family was there that night. And this is a long time ago. I went back to the late 60s. And it turned out that my younger sister, that's no longer with us, ended up being, 17, 16 years old. And she started crying, and she was concerned about me, and I was concerned about her. And here I fight that too. Blood all over the place, and people going crazy. And it was quite a scary situation. But I've been in quite a few like this. Right from Puerto Rico, that was a wild place too. People would throw stuff at you going to the ring and back to. They even had to put up a shelter over top of the ramp going out to the ring. Same thing they did in Boston, Massachusetts, when we wrestled up there. It was same thing as that. But there's a lot of situations where you ended up having scary situations, like where there was a very intense match and people were really crazy, going crazy. One time in Augusta, Georgia, Ole Anderson, myself against Stan Hansen and Tommy Rich for the Georgia Championship tag team belt.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a situation where we really had them both look like they're going to be beat for sure, and blood all over and everything. And ended up outside all of a sudden, and one of them, I think Big Stan, threw me into the post, and I hit my head on the post, and split it wide open, and there was blood all over the place. And they had to stop the match because it was so bad, and they wanted me to go to the hospital, and I insisted, no, I don't go to the hospital in America, no. I told them, you stitch it here, right in the ambulance, I'm finishing the match after. And they thought it was crazy, but they did. The guy was no pain medicine or nothing, just stitched my head up with the stitches, put it in, and we finished the match after. And they thought that was really crazy, but I guess I was trying to prove something, that the Russians didn't need all this anesthetic and all this stuff, pain medicine, all this. We're tough or something. But no, I don't think I'd do that again. The stitches actually not real bad, but they're burning, And,
yeah.
Pretty tough way to do it. But a lot of situations like that. But that's a couple of them that I can remember being very intense.
You're listening to Beyond Ringside, Back to Basics on this Tuesday night, this third day of March 2015. Fast Eddie Layne live from Studio One, being joined by the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, and his appearance this evening being brought to you by Masters of Ring Entertainment, Lasting Legacy, a tribute to Jim Cornette, and Fan Expo taking place this Saturday, March the 7th in Wilmington, North Carolina. You mentioned a C word a minute ago that a lot of us talk about all the way through. And you said the word, we have to be a little bit crazy. Aren't we all to a great degree in this wonderful world of professional wrestling?
It seemed, especially years ago, it seemed like the people were so enthralled in the match that they try to participate. And really, I could understand this. I don't know if I told this story. I think I told it in my book, is At Wrestling Fate, The Bare Facts by Ivan Koloff, which you can get through crowbarpress.com. That's my author, Scott Keel, or go on my site and you get the book. But, man, I had to put it in there because it was really stood out in my life as far as being rough. Remind me about what we were talking about then. I lose a little. I think too many chairs on the head.
That's been my excuse for the last week. I took one of those in Pell City, Alabama, this past Saturday night.
Right. Yeah. So we're just talking about, and I was ready to tell a story, and what was we relating to?
Us being a little bit crazy in this business, whether it be us or the fans, or both.
Yeah. Oh man, so much so that the fans get enthralled with it, and I can tell you a story about that. But myself, whenever I was going to the wrestling school when I first started, and to learn wrestling, it was very important to know something about it. I haven't watched it too much on television. I've seen it a couple times, and I knew the basic type thing of different holds and moves and all this. But going to the wrestling school was a big thing for me. When I first started, I only weighed 183 pounds. The trainer, the owner of the club, ended up telling me, I was very young, 19 years old, 20 years old, and he told me, you're too small for wrestling. You come back whenever you can gain maybe 50 pounds. Well, needless to say, in about 4 months, I was back. I was more than 50 pounds heavier. So he was very impressed with that because I was lifting weights and force-feeding myself. And I was serious about this. I wanted to be a wrestler. And I ended up, he told me the night before you start the classes that there was a wrestling show every week at this gym where he had the wrestling school on a Thursday night. And all these wrestlers would graduate and would come in and help him out by having a show. And some of the new guys would have their preliminary match. And it was really a good help to learn to relax as far as your, starting off in the wrestling school. Here I am sitting front row with my younger brother, and he said they're beating up on the owner and a police officer, Johnny Reed, was the good guys against these two guys, Al Bell and Sailor Clark. And Al Bell was a big man. He's about 6'6", 300, 50 pounds or something. And the other guy was pretty stocky, too. Ended up, they were beating up on Jack and that. I couldn't take it anymore, and I don't even remember doing it. I hit my brother in the side with an elbow, and I said, let's get him. And later on, he told me, he looked at me and he said, you get him. And I did. I just jumped up and went up there, and I hit Big Al Bell through the ropes in the stomach. He dropped to a knee because I hit him hard, probably the kidneys or something. The other guy was coming around the ring, his partner, and I had watched enough wrestling that I knew, pick up a chair and hit him over the head. I did that. And I hit him hard. I mean, I knocked the guy down. I picked him up, put him up against the wall, and started punching him. They pulled me off, and go home, come back tomorrow. I come back the next day, and this guy that I just said hit over the head of the chair with a big lump on his head came out of the dressing room as the guy that was going to start showing me wrestling. And I said, oh, man, I'm in trouble here. He's mad at me and everything. But that goes to show you the intensity of going crazy as a fan. And I could understand it all those years after that. And I had an incident, just to tell you a quick one, in the West Virginia area. Me and Mad Dog Buzz Sawyer were tag team champions against Stan and Tommy Rich and a bunch of other guys that were in the territory and wrestling. And we ended up having to, usually right after the match, we stop at the store, get a six-pack or whatever, hit the road or whatever, and we ended up going in there, and I was ahead of Buzz. I had my arms full, big bag, whatever, beer, and maybe some chips or something like that. And going out the door, and I just met this guy coming in, and he recognized me, and he said, "You wrestlers are nothing. I could beat you. You talk about street fights and all of this." We had a street fight that night against our opponents, and he was saying, "I could show you how to street fight." And I said, "Oh, is that right? Let me put this down." And I went to put it down, and at the same time watching him that he didn't kick me or something, and raised up to go out the door, to follow him out the door, and just as I stepped outside, Buzz, that dog, come out just like a train, and he picked that guy up, and without exaggerating a bit, he beat that guy so bad, he was picking him up and slamming him down on the concrete and rubbing his face in the concrete, and the police pulled up, and the police officer got out of the car, had his gun drawn. It reminded me of Barney Fife or something on television. And he said, "Drop that man," because Buzz had him up in some kind of hold up in the air and shaking him, and Buzz threw him down. Buzz had to pay a fine or some, because he had to come back to court anyway later. But hey, that's just an idea of how crazy it gets sometimes. Just a couple of little incidents.
Now, you made a reference to the book a minute ago, which, of course, you said is available through Crowbar Press and just recently released, if my notes are correct. A good friend of ours, Michael Elliott with Elbow Productions, has put together a 2-disc DVD set for you.
Oh, man, what a great job he did, too. Yeah, I'm excited about a documentary. Man, he did. He went and interviewed, I don't know, 10 guys, whatever. Bruno Sammartino, the rock and roll, referees, and a whole bunch of guys getting their opinion about me. And I didn't have too many guys, or I don't think there was one guy that really held a grudge against me, or they were very nice and ended up saying nice things about me, and but which really was appreciated by myself. And I always was business whenever I was wrestling. I went out and worked hard and tried hard in the gym, and I guess they appreciated that also. But I'm really looking forward to this, to come into Wilmington this Saturday night and be a part of this. Going to be there early in the day, 10 and 10 a.m., right through till about 4 or 5 in the afternoon, doing autographs and the matches at night. I think Jim Cornette is going to be honored, and he's going to say something. Oh, man, it's going to be a great night. I know there's going to be a lot of interest in that, and Harley Race is there, and a number of wrestlers. I don't even know all the names. Maybe you got a list of them there, but I'm sure the fans will be happy to see them all, and I know I'm looking forward to it.
And what Mr. Koloff is making a reference to is this Saturday night, March 7th. And it is going to be in Wilmington, North Carolina at the Coastline Convention Center. And it's actually a dual event, same day, same company, and a number of legends and faces that you are going to know, recognize, and love. I mean, he made a reference to some of them. Lasting Legacy is a tribute itself to Jim Cornette and all of the things Cornette has done and the impact that he's had on the pro wrestling world. And this is a man that you've run across a couple of times in certain capacities.
With Jim Cornette?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mostly it's just stuff that I've witnessed, when he was managing the Midnight Express. The scaffold matches, gets the rock and roll, and just some gracious stuff. They were pretty well a nonstop team, and Jim Cornette did nothing more but to add to it because of his mouth. He could really talk as a manager, and I'm sure put them in the position of negotiating with the promoters to go after key tag teams to really boost his team. And I get to run into Bobby Eaton and Dennis once in a while. It's just not enough. So I'm going to look forward to seeing those guys down in Wilmington this Saturday. Man, it was always excitement when the matches were going on. They had a big thing with rock and roll after I kind of softly say it in a sense, when the Rock and Roll Express cheated me and Crusher Khrushchev out of the world belts. Of course, we had an issue with them after that and went back and forth. We won the belt back, and Nikita and Crusher, and they had a big thing after that with the Midnight Express. Oh man, what a time! It just seemed like between those three teams or four teams at the most, it was just like every night, and really aggressive wrestling, and trying to get the better of each other.
And that was something, if I could, you make a reference to facing off with the Rock and Roll Express, with the Midnight Express. And there were times, a lot of the times in the Crockett era, in which you, Nikita, you, Crusher, y'all were running pure heel. And lo and behold, you also had the Midnights that were running pure heel. And you never really faced off against each other in that first part, but there were times when, after everything went crazy in certain regards, the Midnights would start to go into the face realm, and then there were some areas where you were recognized more as a face than a heel, depending on the town. And did you get a chance to work with each other as much as you really wanted to?
No, not at all. No, I think the Rock and Roll being we're Russian and they're American, the USA thing. The Olympics and everything that year, and it just seemed like it captivated the people. Like, remember, we were wrestling them as far as, because they're smaller guys, and they're nonstop in the ring. We're big guys, and we looked like we're outmatched, but it seemed like they always prevailed because they're smaller and in good shape. The people wanted them to win, of course, but and then the Road Warriors came around later. But no matter who you're against, what team was against, Rock and Roll, the Andersons, or Midnight Express, man, they're all tough teams. And they didn't get to that spot if they didn't, convince the people and convince the promoters they're worthy. And, it was just a good time. I don't think that'll ever come back to that type of wrestling again, because when the people are so intense that they get into it and they just steady holler, they weren't just playing around. It was because they did not want these ugly Russians to win against the Rock and Roll Express. And then, even if we're wrestling the Midnight Express, they would want us to beat them. But the Midnight Express to me really excelled. And I think this is a great tribute to Jim Cornette and them, really, in the sense in Wilmington, and to have Jim down there talking. He's not lost for words at any time, so I'm sure the people will enjoy his speech or his talk, and they'll get to ask some questions, and I'm sure they'll have a great time. But people come on out and spend the whole day there, just having a good Saturday night. This Saturday night coming up, and I'm counting down the days myself. Looking forward to it.
Let me come back to the DVD set for a second, which is available through Elbow Productions. That's ELLBOW Productions.weebly.com. Or you can go directly through you and get the set as well, from what I understand. There is a quote that you left in there, or that you put in there. And the quote is, "This wrestling isn't fake." Now, for those who paid attention and those who remember the different areas you were in and the different timelines you were working in and the different people that you were working, you left a lot of yourself inside that squared circle.
Yes, sir.
If you had to base a percentage on that, how much would you genuinely say out of 100% of your body did you leave in the ring?
Oh man, it just seems like right now, talking after 50 years of wrestling, that I ended up pretty well giving it an all, because I'm sitting here right now with two shoulders. One has been operated on for 34 years ago, but it's right back to where it was. And I still work out, but both of them were considered broken. Tore the rotary on my left side, still tore. Bicep, tricep, both been tore. On the right side has been broke, hitting the post. and operated on once, but a spurs in there again. Right knee needs to be replaced. Left ankle and broke 4 times from jumping off the top rope and cages and all this stuff. I think if it was a type of thing people wanted to be convinced that wrestling is something of an up and up, you can't find another sport that you end up having more injuries. I was in a car wreck about 8 years ago, and just to give you an example, I ended up, the car was totaled. My wife and I were both knocked out, and for quite a time, broke 6 of my ribs on the left side because I was T-boned on the driver's side. My sternum was broken, and back injury on top of a back injury. They wanted to operate right that night, but the lady didn't have adequate insurance to even get it through. And at that time, I didn't realize how the American insurance companies work with cars, so I didn't have that. But now I do, and I ended up getting extra insurance because it was a situation where I was in such pain with broken ribs and the back injury and such that it was comparable to me to a wrestling match. Some of the matches I've had where I've gotten hurt like that, broke a shoulder, ankle, or something coming off the top rope, and you know you broke your ankle or your leg because you hear it. You hear it and you feel it.
Yeah.
But you know that it's something. The promoters looked at it this way. If you weren't able to come back into the ring, unless you were in the hospital, okay, if you're in the hospital, you'd be excused. But if you're not, you'd be at ringside.
Yeah.
Whether you're in sling or whether you're in crutches or whatever, and you be there to do what you have to do, whether it's cheer on your team or to help out as a manager or whatever. You had to be there. So that gives you an idea how intense wrestling was years ago. I understand today it's because of pay-per-views, they have more action, non-stop stuff. And I must say they're great athletes. These guys here to do the stuff that's over the top rope and onto barriers and everything. Don't get that. You don't do that stuff without getting injuries. So they're getting hurt. They're getting hurt. It's just thank God their policy, what they got now, that if they're hurt, they're able to take time off to get fixed up. Matter of fact, I understand the office helps them to do that, which is very nice. It's better than being told you either be at ringside or I don't care if your arm is broke or not. So it's a thing that the people, fans, I don't think could really appreciate unless they've played sports before,
right,
been injured like that to that extent. I compare it in my book to Evel Knievel, where, okay, he knows ahead of time what he's going to try to do anyway, and he practices it as much as he can. But when you do dangerous stuff, high-risk moves, you're going to get hurt, and that's the way I explained wrestling. You know ahead of time what's expected of you. You go in there and you try to take over and be aggressive on the guy. Yeah, on the offense, but a lot of time it's the guy's tougher than you or whatever. You can you end up having to get beat up. So whether you like it or not, and believe me, there was some tough guys in the wrestling business in the past, and I'm sure there's still a lot of tough guys. The first time I locked up was Vern Gagne, AWA champion out there in the Midwest, Minnesota. I had heard of him, seen him, and I locked up with him in the ring in Chicago, championship match. First thing he does is slap me in the ear, bust my eardrum. I'm about 300-pound bench pressure on 500. It made me mad. To say the very least, it made me mad, and I lost it. I started swinging and kicking as hard as I could. Match went on, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes. After the match was over, he said a word over to the referee. He says, "Tell that kid that's the way to do it. That's the way I like it." I said, "What? What have I got myself into here?" Here I had been in business about 10 years, and the guy, I just went out there and had the battle of my life, and it busted my eardrum, and the bloody noses and everything, and he tells me, "Great, to do that every night." thinking, how long am I going to last in this business? But that's the difference, I think, that it was so intense back there. A lot of guys get hurt.
You asked the question, how long were you going to last? I will sit back and say you said over 50 years, and lo and behold, you've got some kids coming up today that would look at your career and go, "Can I please have that? Can I please work my way into where he was?"
Yeah. Well, as far as I guess the intensity of the match and also the longevity part, if I don't think the guys today would take that much, and probably they wouldn't need to, because of course I believe there's more money today because of the pay-per-views, and that reaches a lot more people, and consequently more merchandising, and I think hopefully they're doing a lot better than we did. But that was the same. I can remember back whenever I was starting, football players were coming over to be wrestlers because they're making more money in wrestling. And nowadays, look at football players. They got big contracts, millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I know there's guys that got millions of dollar contract with wrestling today, but I think all the sports have really, the pay-per-views have really made a difference at TV audience.
Do you have a few more minutes to work with? There's a couple more questions I'd really like to ask.
Oh, sure.
Okay. We've had a chance. You talk about road stories. You talk about different scenarios in front of the cameras, in the ring, and behind the scenes, on the road, back at the hotels in different areas. But I want to take it to a little bit of a different level. And that is not only talking road stories, but also giving your testimony and moving behind the pulpit every once in a while.
Yes, sir. Yep. I'm so happy to say that's the truth, and that's a fact. I really got to the state or condition of being completely overboard on, I guess you'd call it, drugs and alcohol. It's not an intentional thing. I always thought that, the real man will have a beer now and then, nothing wrong with to celebrate that. But today in my thinking, that's not true. That was such the wrong type of thinking, because if you'll end up, having that kind of guideline, you'll end up having more, and that's exactly what happened with me. I ended up having an injury in Minnesota to my back, and I ended up, the 73, having to loosen off of wrestling. Matter of fact, I even took a couple months off. It was so bad. And ambulatory traction, chiropractor, and it came back to the extent that it came to Carolina, started wrestling around 74, and was able to wrestle. And back in the 80s, a couple more times, I ended up getting injuries. But more and more, I was getting these injuries, and so they'd give you some painkillers, they'd give you some something to relax, something to sleep with, and hey, man, what a relief this is. I'm able to get a good night's sleep. I'm hurting so bad, so much pain and such, that you get addicted to this stuff. I don't care how tough you are, you're going to get addicted to this stuff because it's very addictive. And you end up get to the point that if the doctor don't give it to you, you get it on the street. So that's what's happened today. America's evolved into, not just America, but the kids at the street are doing it. And to get to the point that they're doing stuff that they don't even realize they're doing, carrying guns and robbing people and drugs and everything, selling and all this stuff. Well, I got to that point that I was on the edge, you might say, totally between the alcohol and the drugs, because it starts out very gentle. The devil is a liar. He goes out there, but he's a tempter. What he'll do is he's trying to kill, steal, and destroy, like it says in the Bible. Because what happens is you feel good after the match. You say, well, man, I deserve to have a beer or so. So you have a 6-pack. A long trip, well, maybe 12. So you say, next day you go to the gym, sweat it off, and, you're ready to go again. But with the drugs, after a while, a combination of both of them, and pretty soon you add to it. It's not just pills, then it's marijuana, and it's pills and marijuana, and then it's that's not enough. So cocaine, it gets more expensive. So now you start selling it, and just to get yours free, and pretty soon you're in the business of carrying a gun. And, it's a crazy, crazy world. I mean, whenever you get involved to that much, and you're not thinking straight because you're on these drugs. So, alcohol. Well, that happened to me. I got so bad that I got to the point that to wonder I didn't really kill somebody, because with the guns and all of this stuff, but more so than that, even just the idea of the ring, because I was not responsible. I could attest to hundreds of times driving home, getting up the next day and not even realizing it was me that drove home, and I had other guys in the car. Because I killed. I had several accidents, but other than stitches, that was it. I was fortunate not never to get a real serious or hurt anybody else. But I realized that I had a problem and tried to get off it. For a couple of years, I put the WCW, and I never went to no clinic or nothing. From the old school, I can do it. I'm tough, I did wrestling, so I can do this too. But I couldn't. I just kept going back to it. Pretty soon, it's like you're frustrated. You just take it out. I get a call one day from my nephew, Nikita, and he says, Uncle, I know what you've been going through to a certain degree. Not that he would honor it, he wasn't doing it. He just realized that because he rode up and down the road with me. And he said, I know what you need. You need Jesus in your life. I said, Nicky, what are you talking about? My mother and dad made sure I stayed in church when I was a kid. I know who Jesus is. He says, yeah, the devil knows who Jesus is too, Uncle, but that doesn't make him a Christian. So he got my attention, and what he wanted me to do was come to church with him, having a revival at this church, and I went and started realizing that, man, I'm not a whole man because I don't have Jesus in me. I'm walking with God. And consequently, I'm thinking that it's a human, and I'm lost. So I, understood that. There was another chance, and I ended up receiving Christ that day. And what a difference it made, because what I did is went home. It wasn't a magical thing. I did what they told me. You end up, your faith is what does it, and your faith is increased by the Word. So you take in Jesus, which is the Word, the Bible, and it chases out all the junk out of you, and your thing becomes strong enough with Jesus as your tag team partner to overcome it, because He blesses you, because you're having a relationship with Him. And pretty soon it's like the chewing tobacco is gone, the marijuana is gone, the beer is gone, and the pills are gone. Now I've been clean for a long time now. The only thing I take is what the doctors say. Hey, you got this situation here, whatever it is, blood pressure, whatever it may be, you better take this, So I stick to that, and even then I question. I just came today from seeing the doctor for my second annual every 6 months checkup, and I'm questioning them. Now they got something that's really great. They take your DNA by swabbing the inside of your mouth, and they can test it to see whether the drugs that you're taking are doing the job that they're supposed to do, and what effect they have on each other, which to me is incredible. That's good. I'm waiting for the result to make sure the stuff I'm taking is good stuff. And whatnot. But to me, that the idea of having that strength to be able to overcome the drugs, and to be able to sit here and tell you that God did. I'm being truthful that I had to allow Him to be in my life, and what a lot better it is for me now. Today I got a wife that's behind me and pushes me all the way, and corrects me once in a while. She has to say, hey, what are you doing there? Of course, I have to have some convincing sometimes, so she suplexes me and stuff.
I thought you
were quite go there, but
I thought you were going to say she's
go reach for the chain once in a while.
That's it.
But
it's
really good. What a difference today! I'm doing stuff, talking at churches, and being able to go to prisons and talk to the kids, encourage them, and man, to be able to be on the right track. I wish I could have done it, 40, 50 years ago instead of 20 years ago, but it's better late than never, and I just
Amen.
kind of want to encourage people today that whether you think it's for soft people or whatever, you're wrong, because we're all sinners, and God says no sin will enter into heaven, so we better get the cleansing power of the blood of Jesus in the cross. I really believe it. I believe that so much. If you were to take a gun today and point it to my head, renounce Jesus Christ, and say, I'd first tell you that you're going to hell, because if you kill me, that's just going to happen to you, but you'd have to shoot me, because I wouldn't renounce him. That's how much I believe it. But God's good. God's good. Yeah, real good. Life is good. I got some grandbabies around me, and my wife and I do stuff, speaking at churches and tell my story at the churches and prisons, and when I'm doing autographs for the kids. I've been doing that for 22 years, Children's Miracle and all that. And, matter of fact, even before I got saved, I ended up saying, well, what I'll do is I'll try to do some good things, and maybe God will bless me. He did. He already had it in the works. He had me to be with my nephew Nikita, and consequently, he's the one that got me to go to church. And so God, hey, he's an all-knowing God. He's just got to be able to give it over to the Lord. And finally, when I was not so stubborn and allowed that to happen, but God really blessed me today with, we do stuff where we go to different churches, we put on wrestling matches, and we ended up, the people just know us as a wrestling match. We do it at schools or fellowship halls or something. People come, just wrestling fans, and after the wrestling show is over, we end up getting up, giving a couple of testimonies, and just a small sermon why you need Jesus in your life, and ask the people to whether they like to accept the Lord as their Savior. And we get a lot of people. I've seen 300-400 people come forward, and man, what a great feeling that is to know that you did something to help somebody get on the right track. And I love doing that. And you can do it all the time. Just doing the autographs is so great. Matter of fact, that's why I just keep doing autographs for charity and going to prisons and all that stuff and doing work. So I love it. I love it.
Thank you for sharing that. I genuinely appreciate it. I really do. Because in this day and age, we have a lot of people who are scared to mention their testimony, scared to talk about their walk of faith because they fear they'll be persecuted by other people. But for someone to stand up and say, yes, I believe in God. Yes, I accepted Christ as my Savior. Yes, I have a walk with the Lord. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Exactly.
I have a quick...
Yeah. And I get a few different other chances to go and still be part of some wrestling. They invite me to some wrestling shows. The first weekend of April, I'm going to be in Clayton, near Raleigh, North Carolina. They have, for the last 8 years, dedicated the show to me, the Ivan Koloff Tag Team Tournament.
Nice.
At the boys' club there. And they have some great talent come there. Kevin Sullivan, and Bigelow, a whole bunch of guys come there, and I'm looking forward to that. And let me see, going to be also up in the Hampton area in I think the 20th or so, it's Saturday anyway, of April. Going to be in that area doing a show up there. Tommy Rich and I think Lodi's going to be there, a bunch of different guys. And also going out to San Jose at the last weekend of this month here, March, for the WrestleCon, to call it, doing autographs on Friday and Saturday. I was waiting for a call about Vince for the Hall of Fame, but unless you surprise me at the last minute, it looks like I'll have to wait for next year, a year after, but I'm still going out there anyway to do these autographs for the company that wanted me to come out. So looking forward to seeing the fans out there. And just different things around here. I deal with the guy that Fenway bought Box Break, Joey's Friendly Box Breaks.
Yeah.
Got to put a plug in for my friend. He's up in the Hampton area, but he goes all over, and he does podcasts and all that type thing. And he does where you get specialty cards, from different sports, and they break open the box, and I guess the fans are able to go on there and bid for him. And he's great. Anyway, he's really a nice man, precious man, and he ends up making me laugh a lot, to say the least. Yeah.
Well, let me jump on the bandwagon and say Vince McMahon, Triple H, Steph McMahon, the entire board of directors at WWE, this man deserves to be in the damn Hall of Fame, plain and simple.
Well, I appreciate that, brother.
Look,
thank you so much.
In my book, you are a first ballot Hall of Famer, period. It doesn't have to be WWE, Cauliflower Alley Club. It could be any legitimate, recognized pro wrestling Hall of Fame. And in my book, you are a genuine first ballot.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Cauliflower Alley had me go out a few years ago there now, and Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame up in New York there, and ended up having me go up there for the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, and I really enjoyed that. Just to see the boys from the past and be honored that way, it's quite touching for me, because I wanted to be a wrestler since I was 8 years old, and just that competitive spirit, just wanted to do something that I love doing. When you come from a family of 10 kids, 7 boys, you're definitely scrapping out there doing some wrestling all the time. So I was bound to get into something like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Beyond Ringside Back to Basics on this Tuesday night, March 3rd. Our very special guest, I say our like I have 33 different personalities, which I do, is the Russian Bear, the legendary Ivan Koloff. And Mr. Koloff is being brought to us, his interview is being sponsored this evening by Masters of Ring Entertainment, Lasting Legacy, a tribute to Jim Cornette, and the Fan Expo, which is going to be Saturday, March 7th. Starts at 10. Okay, the expo itself goes from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. local time. Among the great stars that you are going to see there. Now, you are going to be a part of the Fan Expo, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just double checking.
I've been doing autographs. Oh, yeah, I enjoyed it. Matter of fact, if the fans out there can make it, and they really try to, because I think you'll really enjoy this. Have the old timers together, and they got some stories that really surprise you. But I also mentioned to you that if you go to IvanKoloff.com,
right,
you can get my book there. I got my book, Is That Wrestling Fake? The Bare Facts by Ivan Koloff. And I got my, like you were saying earlier, my documentary that just came out, the 2-disc documentary, and a wonderful job made with a lot of different guys coming on there talking about me and such, Bruno and Jimmy Valiant, Rock and Roll, and a bunch of guys anyway. And also, right again, I have another DVD put together that they can get also for, I got about 22 matches on it.
Nice. Very cool.
Match against Dusty Rhodes, Bruno Sammartino, Rock and Roll. I mean, just 22 action-packed wrestling matches you can get. You can order from there. The one with the wrestling's on is usually $20. The one documentary is usually $30. But I let both of them go for savings of $10 and get both of them for $40. If you like to get that, and
super.
Make a great gift package, especially along with the book if you want to give it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Let me run down some of the stars that are going to be at the Masters of Ring Entertainment Fan Expo this coming Saturday, March 7th. Of course, Jim Cornette, you say you will be there live in person in living color, so to speak. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Harley Race, multiple-time National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, the Stro. A lot of people will remember him very easily, the Maestro from WCW World Championship Wrestling. A man who has been synonymous with pro wrestling journalism for, I'm going to go ahead and say centuries. And that would be Bill Apter, slated to be there. Robbie E., TNA superstar. Dr. Tom Pritchard, our guest from this past Tuesday night on Back to Basics, kind enough to come on with us back last week. Of course, Bobby Eaton, Sweet Stan Lane, The Midnight Express will be there, and the whole event is slated to be hosted by mixed martial arts legend and icon, former National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion, Dan the Beast Severn. Folks, if you can be in the Wilmington area this coming Saturday, you are going to be treated to an experience to where you get to see some of the stars of today and a lot of pure legends. And these are interactions that, look, early bird general admission seats are still $15, I understand. $25 for the tribute event only. $99 super package for the Fan Expo and the tribute event. I will tell you this. The VIP $99 Fan Expo and tribute event package is worth it, because you're going to get a chance not only to meet and talk with some great stars, some pure legends, but you're also going to get a chance to see some pro wrestling action that's going to blow you away. And you've got an all-day event that's going to be absolutely tremendous. So if you're 1 hour away, make the short drive. If you're 2 hours away, make the short drive. Even if it's 3, 4 for an event like this, do not miss it. Plain and simple. Check out mastersofringentertainment.com to go directly to the ticket link. It's mastersofringentertainment.ticketleap.com. And they'll have just go to mastersofringentertainment.com. You can find the links up there. It is very easy. They do have a Facebook fan page. They have a Twitter feed that you can follow with all late breaking information. I do understand one of the MCs for the event is going to be Stephen DeAngelis. A lot of people are going to remember him from the Extreme Days. And you don't get opportunities like this. Because Mr. Koloff made a reference to the book in the documentary a minute ago. The book I wholeheartedly recommend, because you get to see and read in his own words what it was like and what it's been like. On the DVD with the wrestling matches on it, you get to see it. The documentary, you get to see and feel and learn that much more about it. But to meet the man himself, this Saturday, March 7, Wilmington, North Carolina, at the Coastline Convention Center. Check it out. I guarantee you are going to have a great time. If I could, how can people, I know that you have a Facebook, but how else can people track you down on social media in addition to your website, ivankoloff.com?
You can get a hold of me through Facebook, Twitter.
Oh.
And I don't know nothing about the computer. My grandbabies can run it, but my wife takes care of it. So, but there's a Twitter out there, and I know the last thing that's made on the Facebook was the Russian Bear. Yeah, the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff, I believe it was. Yeah, our Bear Koloff.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
I want to thank.
Yeah, so that'd be great. In fact, you just reminded me, Dan Severn's going to be there too.
Yes.
You know, real quick, I ended up wrestling Shamrock back. I mean, these guys are the real deal as far as trying to rip your head off. And I got to wrestle him when he was wrestling a little bit, did a little stint in pro for a while. I'm going to have to get Dan Severn to put a hold on me, or not gently, that is, just to say that I ended up putting a hold on him. I'll ask him if I could do the same to him, just to say that I had a wrestling move on him. Because, man, he was a tough one, too.
Oh, I'm
excited about it. I'm like a new fan all of a sudden.
I would pay to see that. I would love to see that. You and Dan Severn face to face, nose to nose, because you would have the Russian chain, I hope, and he would have his mustache, which is considered a lethal weapon in 23 states.
Yeah.
That's actually been one of our running gags through what we call the lightning round here on Beyond Ringside. Which is more dangerous, an octopus underwater, a running chainsaw, or Dan Severn's mustache? And most people will say Dan Severn's mustache is more dangerous.
Is that right?
Yes. I I've got to ask one more before I let you run. And once again, thank you for being so generous with your time. My tag team partner you spoke with the other night on Sunday, MaBo Bowman, wanted me to ask you, in your own words, how do you, with things going on right now in the national scene with WWE, they have the characters Rusev and Lana. Have you seen them in action and paid attention to what they're doing?
Yes, I have. In fact, I think he's a great athlete, and I believe he's doing a good job. I really like it. Unfortunately, I called up there 2-3 times, and I wanted to speak to somebody that to get a word to him, because I have a hold type thing that would put him over the top. Really, I mean, not that he's not already on his way there, but this would really make it for him in today's market with Russia, what it is, and America, what it is. It's just this would really. I guess, bring about that the people would be talking. This normal conversation each day would be like a buzz about, see that Russian and tell him what he did, that sort of thing. And I don't want to give it away because I was trying to get them to call me back, but I guess developmentary department or they don't want no input. So, suggest anything, but I think that it would really help a lot. But that's my opinion. So,
and I really think you should have gotten the Medal of Honor from the Soviet Union, from Russia. I think you should have gotten that.
There you go. That would have been really something, right? Yeah, but I don't know anymore with the things that's happening in the world, man. I just feel so strong as a Christian today that we better all stick together here in America, because to make this pull this off with ISIS and all the crazy stuff that's going on, that we better get on our knees and ask the Lord to help, really, because get close to Him, because I believe there's some words like Armageddon and stuff like that. That's the beginning of the end type thing as far as peace here on earth, the coming back of our Lord and Savior. So I know for the ones that have Him as His Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, they don't have nothing to worry about, because they're going to a better place. But I know we don't want to leave our friends and family behind for sure, so we need to stick together.
Amen.
Be at the same accord, yeah.
Mr. Koloff, thank you again for coming on this evening. It has been an absolute honor, a pleasure, and a privilege to have you on. Like I said, we'd originally talked about going 30, 35 minutes, and we've just gone through an hour like it was a drip, like it was a glass of water.
I've enjoyed it. Thank you guys very much, too. Look forward to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest, returning guest at this time, the one, the only, professional wrestling legend, the Russian Bear, Ivan Koloff, has just gone once again beyond ringside. Hang with us. Back to Basics returns in just a moment.
At the rock and roll model, the hair metal heartthrob, your favorite wrestler, Matt Sexfeld here, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside Radio.
The To Be Determined show live Wednesday nights, 9 Central Standard Time. Join myself, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, the Grand Design, Clyde Braddock, and the Magic City Motor, Fast Eddie Layne, as we take you to the edge of uncensored. Yes, we go uncensored, so make sure you have your earmuffs. Ask your parents, for those of you that are a little young, maybe under 18, but make sure if you have any heart conditions or any mental defects, please listen, because they may take effect right here, live, every Wednesday night, 9 Central Standard Time. Beyond Ringside Radio Network, beyondringside.com.
This is Merciless Ray Mercer, Olympic gold medalist and board member of Find a Dream, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Hey everyone, this is the voice Ted Guinness, and I am proud to announce that I will be returning to the Beyond Ringside Radio Network Thursday, March 5th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central, right after Cause and Effect, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network with The Show, the only show on Beyond Ringside dedicated to WWE, SmackDown, Raw, NXT, plus your phone calls. That's all coming up Thursday, March 5th, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and the Beyond Ringside app.
Sunday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern here on BeyondRingside.com. Join us for the Midnight Black Mass. Myself, the Reverend Dan Wilson, brings you the dark gospel of professional wrestling, uncensored, unedited, uncut, and not for the faint of heart. You can find out more about us at youtube.com/pottyhumor or subscribe at Potty Humor on iTunes and Stitcher today.
This is Danny Cage from the world famous Monster Factory, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Do you like beer? Do you like business? Do you like businesses that make beer? Then you'll love this new show. It's the Beer Trail Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Price, and we're going to travel through the world of craft beer and talk to the breweries and see how they got started and what inspired them to make their beer. So check it out at thebeertrailpodcast.com and tell your friends, and hope to see you on the trail.
This is Dale the Demon Torborg.
My name is Bryce Rensburg. I'm the Chikara Senior Official. This is April Hunter from aprilhunter.com.
I'm Bobby Ches, a three-time world champion, Showtime expert analyst.
This is Coolio with the Flow, a.k.a. the Ghetto Gourmet.
This is Dan the Beast Severn, the only Triple Crown champion in the UFC history.
Hi, everybody. This is Jerry the King Lawler. That's right, WWE Hall of Famer.
This is Jeff Damon from Deadliest Warrior on Spike TV.
You have tuned in and are now live listening to the three-time NWA Heavyweight Champion of the World, Scrap Iron Pierce, and just like you, I am also locked in. And, brother, we are beyond ringside.
And welcome back into Beyond Ringside, back to basics on this Tuesday night, 3rd day of March, 7 minutes after the top of the hour. Live from Studio 1, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Layne, being joined by a tag team partner on BR Sunday, BR Live, if you will, Mark MaBo Bowman. What's up, MaBo?
Hey, it's after 9 o'clock. Can we cuss?
No.
Dang it.
Sorry.
By the way, if you guys could see what I could see, actually I could take a picture and send it to Eddie.
Oh, God.
No, it's nothing bad. I just paused the DVR, watching Once Upon a Time, and I guess it was a advertisement for a local news class, whoever, Honora Gathings. Anyway, she's on ABC 33.4. The way I paused the DVR, it looks like she's in mid-sneeze. I don't know, she's just like, it just kind of cracked me up. Look, I'm a simple man who enjoys simple things. Y'all get off my freaking butt, okay?
Get off your butt.
Get off my butt.
Now,
you mother truck drivers.
One of the reasons why I said no, you can't cuss right now.
Is Uncle Ivan will come back and kick my ass?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. There was a situation that occurred at a pro wrestling promotion in recent days. Yeah, I'm bringing that up. That's why I said no profanity. Hashtag hell damn ass, please.
Yeah, but I mean, here's my thing. And sorry if you guys hear noise. It's me getting some water. I'm very thirsty.
Okay.
You know, when you're this fat, you got to keep yourself hydrated.
Amen.
And I'm trying to cut back on the sodas, sweet tea, and energy drinks. That's right, kids. I've decided I maybe want to live past 40. Go figure. You know what? When you get a hold of a certain item that I mentioned in passing on Sundays.
Yeah.
And and you use it for the first time, kind of makes you want to live longer and enjoy it as long as the latex holds up.
Now, wait a minute. The other day you said coroplast. You were talking about the...
Oh, I'm not talking about the guinea pig cage.
Okay, then stop there. Just stop. Let it go. In the words of Captain America, son, just don't.
I'm just saying, that thing right there makes life worth living.
There you go. Now,
but no, let me finish. Okay, look,
go ahead.
And I know what you're going to say, and you know, do I think it was a shoot? No. Eddie will explain what's going on in a minute. Do I think personally it's a shoot? No, I think it was planned. Because you could clearly see she raises her arm up to block the shot. Do I think he got out of hand? Yes. Do I think he took the what's the word I'm looking for? Necessities. I don't know. Do I think he did the precautions to protect what Eddie's going to cover? No, I think he got out of hand and got let out of control. And I don't know. Eddie's obviously not going to mention the company. I think and I actually like this company, one, for what they do, and two, for what they gave us about a month or two ago as alternatives. So. But Eddie will fill you in, and then we will go from there.
Okay. There was a match that took place recently between Chris Dickinson and Kimber.
And the worst moniker, by the way,
of
Chris Dickinson calling himself Bad Daddy.
Yeah, that's really bad. But for me, it's very simple. For those, and the video's gone viral, and there are some pissed off people in this world right now.
Yeah.
And in the ending phase of the match, Kimber takes a chair shot to the head and then gets what was supposed to end up being a buckle bomb or a razor's edge into, let's go and call it the razor's edge into the turn pads. Because there is a difference. There's a difference. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Yeah, this was more of a crucifix bomb.
Yeah.
And into the buckle. This is just, also known as the Pazuzu bomb.
That's it. That's what I was trying to think of.
Because that's what he and Pinky Sanchez and...
The pasta facial bomb.
Huh?
The pasta facial bomb.
Yeah, and then I think Jaka sometimes is in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pazuzu bomb.
I couldn't remember that word to save my ass, and it's been stuck in my head for the last few days. It just sounds like...
You should have messaged me. You know I'll remember it.
Yeah. Of course, anything that sounds the least bit possible twisted, turn it into a perverted sense. You could do that. You'd remember it. Because I can think about 9 different ways you twist it. Sorry for the cough button, kids. No, my cough button didn't work. Well, I watched the video from 3 different angles. Number 1, the chair shot was delivered wrong. Dickinson got ahead of himself. Dickinson got careless.
Exactly.
The finish line was in sight.
But you saw the video where it was shot from 3 different angles.
Yes, I saw 3 different videos.
There's one video that's actually floating out there with 3 different angles.
Okay, did not see the one with 3 different angles. I saw the one that everybody's been going crazy about. Then there's another one that was posted 9 hours ago on this company's site, on the main company's site.
Yeah.
And it's from a different angle.
We'll go look it up on YouTube. But it's shot from 3 different angles. It's the one that everybody's seen, and it's kind of one from behind.
Right.
I guess where you're looking over her shoulder, and then the other one is.
How did it look from over her shoulder?
I mean, all 3 angles. All 3 angles. Both situations look jacked up.
Yeah.
Like there's no, that was just a really good camera angle and made it look vicious. No. I mean, you can clearly see from every angle, especially when she goes to throw her arm up to protect her.
Right.
I'm surprised it didn't break her arm the way he came down.
See, that's just uncalled for. And I'm not going to blame totally because it takes 2 to tango, but I'm going to sit back and say this. If you are going to enter into a circumstance where weapons are being involved, you damn well better know how to use them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter.
And then after he threw her, she missed. She still had the wherewithal to, as she was sliding, if you go back and look, all 3 angles, she grabs the actual, not the turnbuckle pad, but the actual turnbuckle that hooks onto the ring post.
Yeah.
If you look, as she's sliding, she goes, "Oh crap," and then grabs it. And but yeah, I just I don't know. I think. I don't think it was a shoot. Everybody's talking about it was a shoot or there was a receipt owed or whatever.
I think it was just carelessness.
I think he got ahead of himself. He got out of control. And then I think the way he pinned her was way unnecessary too. That was just borderline, sexually disgusting.
Well, I don't know Chris Dickinson that well, and I don't know his character that well, so I can't sit back.
I don't either. Yeah, so I'm with you. I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you call yourself the Bad Daddy,
then there's going to be something up.
Yeah.
I mean, I can
But
understand
it just-
that.
Yeah, but it was just, and like I said, I mean, there's no doubt that I'm sure that both of them went over it, but something happened, and Chris Dickinson just, he got out of control. Now, will there be any ramifications from said company? Who knows?
No, because they're selling the video of the entire match for $10 on VOD. They're trying to profit out of this.
Yeah, and that sucks because they put out a really good product. I mean, they've got a
normally.
Yeah, they've got what is booked. I want to say Ninjas with Altitude versus Young Bucks coming up. Maybe?
Yeah, in April.
Yeah, and that is going to be unfreaking believable. I mean, you got the Young Bucks Super Kick Party, and then you got Ninjas with Altitude, Shinron, and he escapes me. He was on Raw Alternative with Shinron. Looks like some kind of woodland creature. Dang it! And my apologies to him, as well. But that is just going to be, high flying at its best. And so, I would hate for this one instance, and then the over glorification of it by said company to put off people or have them turn away before they get to see like such an amazing match, or even the other matches they put on. So, and please, somebody explain this to me. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't get it. How can I put this? The company shares a similar name with us. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and it's no show. It's Denver no show. Yeah, I know.
But I don't get their company, obvious. But are they open to the general public, or is this just for the boys? It's just for the boys to put on.
It depends on if it's a sleeper cell event, or because it looked like there was a company that was operating under the banner of this organization.
Yeah, because it looked like there was fans up top, but the boys were around ringside.
Right.
And then what's the one that I always see? It looks like it's in the half of a. It looks like somebody's living room or something almost. And it's literally just. I usually see a lot of Chikara guys. Who did I say? I think it was Kefka the Quiet took on Thunderfrog. But you always see him. It's just like in this room. There's a ring. There's one side's barely up against the wall almost, but all you ever see is just like workers around the ring. So I'm never I'm never sure. It's like to me if that's the case, that's actually kind of cool. Just a bunch of guys get together and they just put on matches for each other. To me, I think that's an amazing concept.
Yeah.
And then you sell the videos, and you can actually sell the videos, and people would get addicted to them because there's no way you could ever go see this. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, like I said, I'm not quite sure. Like has Wicked done some of their shows?
He's been up there for sleeper cells before. He went to the Nashville sleeper cell.
Okay, so maybe he'd have a little bit more insight into it, but to me, I would hate for people who are thinking about getting into this company's product to see this and then be put off by it and miss out on amazing things like Ninjas with Altitude versus the Young Bucks, or some of the other great matches they turn out.
Right.
So,
well, laying it down if I could, and I'm just, like I said, I'm not saying that it was deliberate. I'm saying that it was careless. It may have been deliberate, but that's not for me to decide. That's for people who know them better than I do to decide. I'm saying from my perspective, it looked careless and it looked unprofessional. The chair shot the chair shot was delivered wrong. The Pazuzu bomb was delivered wrong. And that is something that, look, when you're dealing with a situation where you are throwing somebody's head and neck into a turn pad, turnbuckle, turn post, whatever, corner, you'd better know what the hell you're doing. You'd better realize, plain and simple, that there is somebody on the other end of that move that if you do this move wrong, they could be. There's your keywords, could be. I don't know how serious, if she is injured, how seriously injured she is. I don't know. She has been very quiet on Facebook. I haven't checked Twitter. But at this,
I haven't seen anything come out of Twitter either.
Okay.
Somebody. I saw earlier today. Somebody associated with her. I can't think of who right now. Sorry, guys. But once again, I don't know. They were saying that she's doing what, she's stable or okay or whatever, and she appreciates all the well wishes. But once again, I don't know. I can't remember. One, I can't remember who it is. And two, once again, I don't know if they're playing up, the angle or anything. So
well, I know that she just did an appearance with Combat Zone Wrestling in Wrestling Superstars Uncensored. And it was her tag team partner. She and her tag team partner had a great showing. Kimberly and Antisocial. Chicks using nasty tactics. Don't use the anagram. Don't use the acronym.
I just got it.
Oh, you didn't notice? Where's Brian?
I never heard of that.
Where's BG? Where's Road Dogg when I need him to go? Oh, you didn't know?
Oh,
Road Dogg, if I ever get you back on the show, you're cutting that damn drop. Oh, you didn't know? Yeah, I knew that from square one when I had Phil Stamper on here a couple of weeks ago talking about it.
I didn't know that they were used. I didn't know that. Oh my goodness.
Chicks using nasty tactics.
Oh, they call themselves coons.
I knew you were going to do it. Mispronunciation and all. Stop there. But then, of course, she is also She is also, God, yeah, I know. I've been asked if there was ever one interview that I could really just do over, and it would be Antisocial, because I remember that to this day.
That was awkward and painful.
And painful. So, Annie, I'll apologize all over again, and I'd love to have you come back on the show sometime.
Cough button.
Yeah, I needed that one too.
And I don't even have a cough button over here.
But
and
also,
she's also. Are you going to bring up the Contest of the Immortals?
No, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up Shimmer 71 on Saturday, March 28th in Santa Clara, California. It's going to be Huh?
Sorry, every time somebody says Santa Clara,
It's San Jose. I'm sorry, it's San Jose.
Well, every time somebody says Santa Clara, I think of the movie Bend It Like Beckham with Keira Knightley, and that's where they're wanting to leave England to go to college so they could get on the soccer thing. And I just hear her in my brain go, Santa Clara. Look, people, screw you. That's how my brain works.
There you go. But by the same token, Kimber and her tag team partner are being very prominently displayed in the advertisements for Shimmer 71, the iPay-per-view. If you are in the Santa Clara, if you're in the San Jose area, and there you go, at the Santa Clara County Fairgrounds, tickets are available. WWNlive.com. So, hopefully everything's in place. And like I said, I don't know if she just sold it remarkably well. I don't know if she is legitimately injured, and if she is injured, how deep it really runs. But I will sit back and say, Kimber, no matter what, prayers going out your way. Happy thoughts.
Give me a minute.
Yes.
Before that, though, she is with the son of a gun. Drop my phone. She is with the Chikara.
Yes.
And look, I got up to get my iPad, and now I got back in the bed, and I'm very uncomfortable. So y'all just have to bear with me. Good Lord, this ain't Sunday, folks. I didn't prep for anything.
Last minute thing, huh?
But she actually has Chikara coming up, where her team of Crown and Court, which is herself, Gentleman Jervis Cottonbelly, and Los Ice Creams, which, by the way, like I tweeted today, boys and girls, if you're having a not-so-stellar day, might I go ahead and recommend you watch any match with Los Ice Creams, your day will be 100 times better.
There you go.
But Chikara has a show coming up. Come on, Chikara.
Yeah,
Actually, this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And I want to say her team. I'm having to go through a lot of tweets here, kid. A lot of tweets.
It's okay.
They've got a shtick coming up here. Let's see. Eddie, do the thing for me.
What, Vamp?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I'm just going to go and lay this. Wrestling Inc. has put out a blurb talking about the match itself with Kimber and Chris Dickinson. Dickinson squared off against the undefeated Kimberly in an unadvertised match, and the male grappler ultimately defeated his opponent by a pinfall. Before covering Lee for the win, Dickinson landed a stiff, their words, chair shot to her head, and followed up with a rough-looking high-cross powerbomb. And that's what they said. Into the corner of the ring. Lee's head narrowly misses the ring post before he pulls her back into the center of the ring for an unorthodox pin. The company in play appeared to acknowledge the controversial finish with a brief note on their official Facebook page. We will post an update on Kimberly's condition when it becomes available. The video itself has gone viral. And, different people are weighing in different ways. What's funny is Twitter has had some various reaction. There is at Kishiro Izumi on Twitter, Chris Dickinson single-handedly set back independent wrestling 15 years, even without gender in the discussion that was reckless and unsafe. Dan_Spaceman said Chris Dickinson match, and Kimberly took a lot worse at WSU a couple of weeks ago.
Well, while you're looking, concerning what she has in Gibsonville, North Carolina, this weekend, Saturday, March 7th, Chikara, she's going to be part of looks to be a four-way dance between Fire Ant, Worker Ant, Wrecking Crew, herself, and Jervis, and the BDK, the four-way tag match. And then, that's, come on. And then they've got, yes, I would like to buy that, but not right now. And then on the March 8th, which I think is a Sunday, yeah, she is, yes, they're going to do the Atomicos Ravioli there. As part of the Clash of the Immortals, it's going to be Crown and Court, which is herself, Jervis, and Los Ice Creams, versus the entire Wrecking Crew, which is Flex, Smasher, Blaster, and Jaka. So, she's booked for this weekend. And with Clash of the Immortals, I don't know how that's going to play out. So...
Well, let me go ahead and run this one because Dulcineax, Dulcineax, I'm sorry, over on Instagram posted a picture of Kimber mounting the second rope, wailing away on Chris Dickinson, and her comment, Dulcineax's comment was, something a lot of people are unfortunately disregarding from the @Kimberly90 and #Chris Dickinson match at that company is the major hurt she put on him during the rest of the match, not to mention the 5 guys she took out on her way into the ring. #indie wrestling, #wrestling. Okay, so if that's the case, maybe it did get a little bit reckless intentionally.
It could have been, but there's just some things, you don't do, you know what I'm saying?
And I knew I recognized the name from somewhere. Dickinson made his debut in Ring of Honor earlier this year during the Winter Warriors tour.
Really?
Yeah. Also, Wrestling Inc. reported Dickinson lost his cool with the live crowd at Combat Zone Wrestling's 16th anniversary show in Philadelphia, went on to harangue the city as well as the historic ECW arena in a rant posted to his Facebook page. So, okay, fine, great, wonderful, hunky-dory. So, like I said before, and we'll say it again, if she's fine, that's great. That's wonderful. We're glad to hear it. If she's hurt, our best for a speedy recovery.
Yeah. Well, just some of the tweets towards Chris Dickinson. Wow, definitely can't. We will try to. Okay, this coming from Purchasing the World at Fly Beats with 2 Z's. I know a lot of people that are ready to fight and can F you up, P white boy. And then he goes on to call him a derogatory term for a homosexual, and then says he deserves to be shot and killed for hurting Kimber Lee, you low-life scrotum sack.
There you go. All right.
See, I mean, but here's the thing. The one I'm not gonna say it's a good thing to come out of it, but definitely means we can get an awesome match over on Chikara. To the best of my knowledge, Dasher Hatfield picked a team of himself, Mr. Touchdown, Grand Champion Icarus, and Young Lions Cup, Heidi Lovelace. Well, somebody had made the tweet, and Heidi kind of retweeted it and commented on it about seeing who the toughest female is now between Heidi Lovelace and Kimber Lee.
Right.
And so keep in mind, both of them will be in Chikara. I mean, I'm sure they'll have chances in WSU or whatever was it, wrestling on, what is it, Superstars?
Women Superstars Uncensored.
Yeah.
And
so
Shimmer.
On Shimmer. Yeah, Shimmer. I'm sure if they booked on Shine. But they, at some point they could end up across from each other in a Chikara ring because of Clash of the Immortals.
Right.
With Heidi being on Dasher's team. And Kimber Lee, having her own team, so we could definitely see some ish going down.
Well, do me a favor. We've got to go to the bottom of the hour break. Do you want to go ahead and hang with me through the break and come back for one more segment, or have you got to run?
I can hang with you until we wrap that up.
Okie doke. Hang tight, folks. Going to go to a quick one, and we'll be back on Back to Basics in just a minute.
This is Larry Goodman, GWH News and Notes, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey, this is Stuart Couch from the Cause and Effect Thursday Night Throwdown. Catch us here every Thursday night, 7 p.m. Central on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
I'm addictive. I'm expensive. I'm Byron Wilkine. And ladies, Big Daddy Yum Yum is locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne, with your invitation to join yours truly, along with Mark MaBo Bowman and the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, every Sunday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific, for Beyond Ringside Live. Wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk, and a whole lot more. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com for all of upcoming show information, and of course, catch us on social media as well. Until then, we'll see you this Sunday, 6:30 Eastern, for Beyond Ringside Live on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
This is Dr. Tom Pritchard, and if you want to listen to the best in professional wrestling, get locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Howdy, friends. This is the Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Layne.
And I'm the Cause, Robert Cosper.
And this is your invitation to join us
and the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock, right here for the Saturday Showcase.
At Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10, 9, 8 a.m. Pacific time. See? We do math around this place. Be sure to catch us right here on BeyondRingside.com. You can also listen through Winamp for Android and BlackBerry, as well as the Shoutcast mobile app for Apple as well. Remember, that's Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network.
And let me tell you how you can find the Hitman, Big Daddy Cool, Ryan Adcock on social media. It's very easy. It's at www.kissmyass.
Whoa. Stop that right there, folks. We'll see you Saturday on the Showcase. Bye for now.
Attention all wrestling fans, Saturday, March 7th at the Coastline Conference and Event Center. Meet your favorite wrestling stars, Jim Cornette, WWE Hall of Famers, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and Harley Race, Robbie E., Mason Ryan, the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, plus live wrestling matches. That evening, join us for Lasting Legacy, a tribute to Jim Cornette, hosted by UFC Hall of Famer and former WWE star Dan Severn. Get your tickets at Yellow Dog Discs or at mastersofringentertainment.com for your chance to win a once-in-a-lifetime WrestleMania dream vacation for you and a friend to San Francisco. Sponsored by One at Equilibrium, TagMeADate.com, Clean Eats, Nourish NC, Southeastern King Mackerel Club, and Vapor Shack. Pro wrestling fans, do not miss out. Get your tickets now at Yellow Dog Discs or at mastersofringentertainment.com.
Let's do it. 24 before the top of the hour. Beyond Ringside Back to Basics continues. Fast Eddie Layne in Studio One. I'd like to welcome back in tag team partner Mark MaBo Bowman.
The things they are doing with polymers to make artificial, realistic skin.
You know, I have to say this. The things that they are doing with hops and grain to make a certain frothy beverage. And you know who a good person to talk about that frothy beverage, also known as beer, would be?
Local Alcoholics Anonymous?
That would be a negative. It would be a very good friend of ours, a good, Mr. Chris Price, hosts a podcast called the Beer Trail Podcast. You can catch it on the website, thebeertrailpodcast.com. If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, guarantee you're going to like it because they talk about different things as part of the brewing industry. And he's also probably going to be taking a look at some of the local breweries around the Birmingham metropolitan area in the southeastern U.S. So if you get a chance
there's 5 or 6 that I go past every day on my deliveries.
Yeah, I know. But like I said, I wanted to pass that along to everybody. If you get a chance to, check out this website, thebeertrailpodcast.com. Chris, love the show. And if you listen to the breaks now, if you're listening live, I didn't get a chance to put the sweeper in there that you had sent over. So I'm going to go back and add it in post. So that 30-second spot will be broadcasting on the back. See, I'm just telling the secrets here, pulling back the curtain. Speaking of pulling back the curtain, I've been asked a very legitimate question, and it pertains to something that's that has ramifications of fallout here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network and the family of shows. After the sequence of events which transpired this past Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama, under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling, I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know. I did go to the doctor this morning because something just wasn't right. And there is compression, heavy, C1, C2, C3 at the base of my skull, which is a direct result of the vile chair, and I'll just use the word vile because it's an understatement, of the assault with a steel chair that I persevered at the hands of Micah Taylor this past Saturday. I was asked the question, knowing now what I know after the physical assault occurred, and having had a couple of days to think about everything, I've been getting messages, questions asking, am I going to suspend C&E Thursday night? No, I'm not. Because it's approaching a very fine line. It really is. Beyond Ringside Sports Radio is my baby. Everybody knows that. I am the program director and general manager and owner for Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. BR Live Saturday Showcase, Back to Basics, the station itself and the network. For which I'm very thankful for everybody who has been kicking ass and taking names trying to help me spread the word about this thing. I really do appreciate it. But what happens on Beyond Ringside is Beyond Ringside. Whether it's Cause and Effect, the show with Ted Guinness, which debuts this Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific. Ted, I'll let you fill in the blank on your own time zone. Whether it be the Midnight Black Mass, to be determined, Wrestle Rage Radio. I think I covered everybody. What happens at Global Championship Wrestling is at Global Championship Wrestling. Now, based on what happened last Thursday on C&E, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer has paid a $250 fine for going well over the line of the what Robert Cosper had instituted as a PG radio policy. So, thank you for that money order. It was originally going to be 5, but I said, you know something? Nah. I'll take half. Just like Eddie Murphy made famous. Am I going to suspend Cause and Effect and kick them off the air? No. It would do no good. Because I feel Cause and Effect is a viable property and a valuable property for the Beyond Ringside family of shows, regardless of what happened this past Saturday night. But needless to say, I will be keeping a very close ear on what's going on. Sum it up. Saturday night at Global Championship Wrestling was Saturday night at Global Championship Wrestling. That has nothing to do, regardless of whether or not C&E does become GCW Radio every once in a while. And we all know it does. Hello, Captain Obvious. But they choose to cover GCW. GCW Radio was GCW Radio. C&E is Cause and Effect. So, GCW business is handled separately from Beyond Ringside Sports Radio. That's business. There is a dividing line and a defining line between the two. So let's clarify that right now. Unless something happens on their part, Cause and Effect will air as scheduled, 7 p.m. Central, right here on Beyond Ringside Radio. Like I said, gentlemen, I'm going to be listening. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, I will be paying attention. And as far as it happened this past Saturday, I will never forget. That you can take to the bank. There are a lot of great events. Sorry, I had to come back in.
You know they're hold on. Let me say what's going on.
Go ahead.
You know they're going to totally make fun of you for that now, right?
I don't care.
I'm just saying, they're a bunch of jerks.
Look, I'm just going to go and lay it out there. They have,
go ahead.
As long as they don't violate what has been classified as Rule 17, there will be no deliberate, vindictive shots verbally taken on any staff member of any show on this station.
Well, I'm screwed.
You can.
I haven't been. How come I haven't been fired yet? What am I, like the special needs case? Be like, oh, he wears a helmet when he does the show. We just let him say what he wants to.
You got radio handrails and a football helmet.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, because I know the shots that you take are meant to be humorous as well as get a cute little dig in. It's like when you started doing the vocal impression of Mad Dog, the parody of Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, which sounds like...
Oh, I'm supposed to do...
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't prepared to warm up. I haven't done my vocal exercises. Oh. Saturday night with chairs and whack. Had to tell him, Cos.
Yeah, instead of whack-a-mole, they whacked a lane. I can laugh about this for a minute, because I just realized it's their own shortcomings, not mine.
And you know what else is good? That you didn't have a neck, or it might be messed up.
Yeah, I know. Other than see
Look,
one...
I mean...
if you want to see the MRI, you're welcome to it.
Huh?
If you want to see the MRI, you're welcome to it.
No, but here's my thing. For those... Because we didn't really touch upon it Sunday night
right.
for whatever reason. And you've been very, I guess, evasive
I haven't really seen much come out of, either Mad Dog's camp or Robert Cosper or...
it's going to happen Thursday.
Yeah, but I got more important things to do that came in the mail. So I'm not going to be...
Let me guess. Put your money where your mouth is. Shut up.
Yes, well, not mine, but...
No, this past Saturday...
No, I mean, my thing is, like, what happened? Like, for those of us who have only seen the pictures but don't know the whole story, take us step by step, day by day, if we have the chance. Because all I've gathered is Spiral... Oh, I just farted. Spiral was on the ground. Micah was in the ring. Mad Dog was doing the hand jive or something. You were in the corner. Next picture, you're flat on the ground. Somebody said, "Oh God, Micah Taylor hit the equalizer." I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Thank you, Danny.
I swear to God, I thought that was funny.
You know who that was? That was Just Jack.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. He's had Jack has had the conspiracy theory in place that I'm secretly the Silent Giant Equalizer. Yeah, I've got it around here somewhere, and I think there's a picture of me standing next to the little hand drawing that he did, which is still absolutely priceless to this day. It's like, we know your secret, Silent Giant Layne, and we'll see you at B-Dubs Friday night.
Well, I about did a spit take when I read that.
That was funny.
But that's all. I mean, there's no explanation. And then somebody said, I think it was Danex who said in the picture, they're like, Kaz is missing from the picture. What happened? How did Kaz get involved? I mean, was it his well-coiffed hair? I don't know. And now they're talking about the powers that be, and they're ripping off a Star Wars logo. And if I were them, I'd be careful, because Disney will sue you.
Yes, they will. So. Just like Haim Saban with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers took care of Ari Shankar.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was freaking awesome.
And by the way, they sit there and they put powers that be. For some reason, whenever I see it, I think peanut butter. I don't know why. I just see PCP and I think peanut butter. I was like, why does the Empire need peanut butter?
Yeah, and
Empire.
That chair shot only took a GIF, and they got it done in a Skippy. I'm going to.
Wah, wah.
There you go. I know, bad jokes. Okay, I'm going to let them. I told you, I'm going to see what happens Thursday night on Cause and Effect.
Look, in protest, I refuse to listen to that show, and I'm standing by my friend. And then there's you.
I love you.
So, I mean. But what happened? I'm not asking for their reasoning, but just what happened.
I will tell you off air. I promise. I will tell you what has been disseminated to me through various channels over the last couple of days, and what totally just, in addition to the chair shot, blindsided the living crap out of me. So I will tell you off air, because I want to hear what they're going to say first. Now, Beyond Ringside Live will not air this coming Sunday evening at its regular time because of the fact of situations beyond our control. In other words, I got a paying gig. I'm not going to lie about it. I'll be hosting karaoke for a birthday party, and that's the truth.
Hey, look, boys and girls, Eddie loves doing Beyond Ringside, but Eddie also likes to eat and have a roof over his head and power running through that roof. So, as much as he loves doing this show, if he can get paid for something else, he'll do it.
Look, if I could get paid to do this, because we've got a great audience that listens to this show around the Southeast, across the country, and in various countries. I mean, I've seen the numbers on both the live and the podcast sides. And thank you to everybody who listens all the way from Hawaii to New York, from Florida to Alaska, Mexico, Canada, Germany, and the entire UK. We still have people in Iceland. Thank you, God, they got their power back. We even get penetration, so to speak, and I know what you're going to say. Don't say it. We actually get penetration into China. And to which I will quickly say, we get listeners in China and Japan.
And then we go and take some penicillin after we penetrate China.
No kidding. But
I'm saying, if we penetrate China, does it run the other way instead of going up, down? Does it go side, side?
It goes side, side. Anyway. It goes side, side. But
well, look, you know what? How about this? If you guys want to hear us on a regular basis, send money.
I'm not going to do it.
if Eddie's too proud and too prideful to accept donations, send me money.
Send you money. Well, do me a favor. We're 10 minutes before the top of the hour, and there's some upcoming events that I really wanted to mention. Matt Classic, our good friend from the AIWF, sent this over.
Okay, now make sure you specify which Matt Classic, because as you know, there's the old-timey inventor of pro wrestling, Matt Classic, with the mask.
Right. No,
Okay,
this is the executive director for the AIWF, Allied Independent Wrestling Federations.
Okay.
On March 21st, 2015, in Mount Airy, North Carolina, the AIWF Crazy 8 Top Cruiserweight Tournament from AIWF Wrestling. The sixth.
Ooh, do we have names?
We're about to. The sixth annual AIWF Crazy 8 returns to the National Guard Armory, 185 Patrol Station Road in Mount Airy, North Carolina. A one-night tournament. Eight of the top light heavyweights from around the U.S. will collide. From Red Bank, Tennessee, Jaden Newman. From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Mason Miles. From Panama City, Florida, that I said with an entirely too heavy of a southern accent, Cameron Cade, a person I know very well. Atlanta.
Wait, Cameron Cade?
Cameron Cade.
Not Saden Cade.
Cameron Cade.
No, that's Caden Sade.
That's Caden Sade from up in Tennessee, yeah. This is Cameron Cade.
We need to have them two team up just so they can confuse people.
Caden Sade?
Caden Sade and Cameron Cade.
There you go.
Anyway, continue.
No, it'd be Caden Sade. Cade and Sade.
Sade.
Okay. Something like that. I'll get it right in a minute. Screw it. From Atlanta, Georgia, Drew Game. I've seen a few of his matches. From I believe it is Puerto Rico, X James. From Dalton, Georgia, Matt Gilbert. From Cullowhee, North Carolina, Tracer X. From High Above the Sky, Shenron.
Oh, Shenron. That's my pick.
Also, Kevin Phoenix and Justin Flash tagged together to take on Ty Tyson and TR Superstar. Good friend, Ty Tyson, actually, a very good friend of the Beyond Ringside family of shows from Power Pro Wrestling back in that day. Contract.
Yeah, his name sounds familiar.
Yeah, a contract on a pole match to determine the first entrant into the AIWF Crazy 8. Contract on a pole match to give the first entrant. So definitely check it out. For more information, check out AIWF.net, AIWFKRAZY8.com, or Facebook.com/AIWF Wrestling. And you can also contact Matt himself directly, Matt_classic@yahoo.com. So, Matt, thank you for sending that information over. Greatly appreciated. And we'll definitely hit some more mentions on as time gets closer. Also, an event coming up on Saturday, April the 11th at the Brock Performing Arts Center in Mocksville, North Carolina. That's 622 North Main Street in Mocksville. A good friend of ours, Stephen Fry. Pork chop. What's up, buddy? A good friend of the Beyond Ringside family. Had a chance to sit down and have a couple of different conversations with him on air as well as off air. Big Time Wrestling Carolina's Spring Bash. Big Time Wrestling Carolinas returns to Mocksville on Saturday, April the 11th at the world famous Brock Gym, and just some of the superstars scheduled to appear are former WCW World Wrestling Federation TNA star, the Big Bad Booty Daddy, Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. He's almost got as many nicknames as Wick does. TNA Impact superstar Gunner will be there. Gunner, I'm about to call you. Ring of Honor star and PWX champion Cedric Alexander. Cedric, I'm about to call you. Ring of Honor and PWX star Adam Page. Still going to call you.
Adam, we don't have your number, but we're about to call you.
There you go. The Tommy Thomas, former ROH star, the Bravado Brothers will be there. The Nice Guy Mickey Gambino, 102 Jams and WXII news personality Christopher Lee, Jimmy Jack Funk Jr., the Party Manimal. Yes, I said that, and that now qualifies for one of the 10 coolest names I've heard this year. The Party Manimal, Zane Riley, and the Geek with the Physique. That's another of my top 10s now, Seymour Snot. Wrestling's newest hitman, Adam James, will be there, plus many others. You won't want to miss this one. Tickets are going to be $8 for kids 5 through 11, $12 for adults 12 and up, with a special golden circle, the front row, $15. They got some great talent coming out on this one. Special thank you to Stephen Fry for sending me that one over. I greatly appreciate it, Steve. And folks, real quick,
hold on.
Yes.
If you're going to put out, I want to put out some shows.
Go ahead, dude.
This Saturday, March 7th, 2015, 7 p.m. at the new Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium, Chikara presents Out on a Limb, 1001 Springwood Avenue, Gibsonville, North Carolina, 27249. Chikara brings their fun-filled Lucha Super Show to Gibsonville. And this is more than likely going to be their only trip through the South unless they have something after King of Trios.
Which sucks.
This year. Huh?
It sucks.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully they'll get closer. They'll get further into the Deep South, but...
Come to Atlanta.
Look, I don't book for them. Calm down. Anyway, matches and segments include the Kentucky Gentleman, Chuck Taylor versus Trevor Lee, Hallowicked versus Argus, Fire Ant Worker and Worker Ant versus the Wrecking Crew versus Princess Kimberly, and Jervis Cottonbelly versus the BDK. In a Clash of the Immortals match, Ultra Mantis, Kadama, Aberion, and Oleg take on the Coronados United Nations, Dasher Hatfield versus Kevin Condron, and for the Campeonatos de Parejas, the Devastation Corporation will take on the Osirian Portal. And the next night, in Norfolk, or however they pronounce, how do they pronounce it? I've heard Norfolk, Norfolk, Norfolk. No, seriously,
Norfolk. Norfolk is probably the best one, depending.
I mean, am I wrong or am I not? I mean, where are you from? We from Norfolk. Where? Norfolk, Virginia. I mean, come on. Anyway, for some reason, the iPad's not wanting to load. But Chikara will be presenting at the Norfolk Masonic Temple, 7001 Granby Street, Norfolk, Virginia, 23505. Alter Egos, ALTAR Egos, right. Alter Egos. Bell time is 3 p.m. It's a Sunday show. Matches include the Snake Pit, this is a Clash of the Immortals match. The Snake Pit, which is Ophidion's team, taking on Amos' team of the Battle Hive. You'll have NRG versus Prakash Sabar and the Proletariat Boar of Moldova versus the Throwbacks versus Frightmare and Silver Ant. Ultra Mantis takes on Volgar. Princess Kimberly, Jervis Cottonbelly, and Los Ice Creams take on the Wrecking Crew. Oleg takes on Hallowicked, and for the Chikara Grand Championship, Icarus will take on Knockin'. So get your tickets over at chikarapro.com, or you can go to chikara.webconnex.com. There's several different ways. Just go to Chikara, look up their events, tap on this thing, put in the promo code. We don't have a promo code because there's not really a promo code, and save 0% on your tickets. That's all I got, really.
I'm sending a message over to Stan Grubb from Wrestle Rage Radio because he lives up in Virginia, and I asked him how close he was. He said 4 hours. I sent him the link to Alter Egos and said, if you've never seen a Chikara show, you really should make the drive and check it out. So dead serious on that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. If they are able to make it... Wait, how big is Virginia if he's 4 hours away?
Remember, it does take 4 hours for me to get from here to down to Mobile.
This is true.
It could be an angle drive.
Oh, if it's an angle drive, then you better hide your human growth hormone.
No, you better hide your Twitter account password.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, look, I encourage everybody, we always say if you're, within a, hour to 2 hour driving radius of a independent show, go check it out. Definitely with Chikara. If Chikara is near you, I highly recommend go see it. Especially if you're in the southern area. Yeah. Because Chikara really only runs out of the northeast, and sometimes they'll trail into the Midwest. Although, how can the Midwest, if it's not even west, how can it be the Midwest? Anyway, they usually stick around the northeast, and then they'll go through. Sometimes they'll dip through Ohio, very rarely.
Yeah.
Chicago, Detroit, Michigan. But it's rare they hit the South maybe once a year, and then they're very selective on the states. They usually don't go deep South. So if you're near it, go see it. It's worth it.
Yep.
Trust me.
Folks, top of the hour. Going to go ahead and start heading it for the Radio Ranch. MaBo, got a last call you want to throw out?
I'm sure if I did. Oh, have you watched Raw yet?
Yes.
Is it me, or does Paul Heyman look fatter?
Yes. Jon Stewart looks smaller.
Well, yeah, he's only like 4'2".
And Lana's butt looks bigger.
Oh. Okay, real quick. Then we'll go. Okay, so did you see the announcement that she's going to be starring in the WWE movie, the next one they film? I forgot what it's called. I think like Latitudes or whatever. It's going to be her and Edge, and I believe she plays in like an interrogator or what have you. Is she going to drop the accent?
She may have to.
And then how are they going to play that? What is she going to be like? I am very good with the American accent. You couldn't even tell. I mean, how are they going to do that?
I have no idea.
By the way, her and Rusev just bought a house, I think, up in Tennessee.
I heard about this.
I know. It looks like a pretty good house, too.
And actually, one thing that's bigger than even that is the factor of who they did make public is going to be making their is going to be going into the WWE Hall of Fame. Or do you not know yet?
Oh, you talking about Blaze?
Yeah.
Well, if I watch Raw, then yeah, I know. But I mean, dude, it's like we talked about Sunday night. Maybe, and we all speculated that it was going to be her anyway.
Yeah.
It's like we talked about Sunday night. They're running out of chicks to put in there.
Probably.
But here's my thing. What about Miss Elizabeth?
Needs to happen.
I mean, why not this year with Savage?
Needs to happen.
Yeah.
Who would you induct her? Who would you have induct her? Because Hogan would want to be on that.
If he wasn't already.
Bad.
Steele, maybe? George?
That would be a good one. That'd be a damn good one.
Because, everybody expects Hogan to do it because they're part of the Mega Powers. I honestly don't think. Who knows? It could be Vince, it could be Linda, it could be Stephanie. But I think to give it meaning, I would have George Steele do it.
Or Rick Steamboat.
Lord willing, the creek don't rise and he don't die before she gets inducted.
Rick Steamboat might be a good choice.
No, because she was never really directly involved.
See, I'd rather Rick Steamboat induct Savage. If it's not going to be Lanny, it should be Rick.
And that's going to be Hogan.
Screw that.
I'm almost 90% sure. It's not going to be Lanny.
Lanny being
he's got to accept the award.
Yeah, I know, but I think it'd be cool as hell for him to be able to induct and accept it at the same time, because the man can work a mic. He can work a mic, but
oh god, if he busted out a frisbee and read a poem off of it,
that'd be good.
Even if he does it with acceptance, if he busts out an orange frisbee and reads a poem, I'm done. I'm a WWE fan for life. I don't care what they do.
Well, as long as they don't induct... who probably the next inductee would be if they don't induct Elizabeth?
Oh.
Katie Vick. And on that note, got a shameless plug you want to throw out? Or because I just asked for last call, and I've got the hiccups. We need to make it fast.
Well, in lieu and saving of your hiccups, other than if you want to donate money, then no, I'm not giving out any shameless plugs. If you guys write Eddie and say, yes, we'd like to donate money, we need MaBo's information to get in contact with him, then next time we're on the air, then I will give out my shameless pluggish, whatever, secret stash, whatever the hell we're doing. I don't know.
Well, let me go ahead and say this real quick. I would like to give a very special thank you to Bambi Weevil with Masters of Ring Entertainment for helping me set up interviews with the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff and with Dr. Tom Pritchard. Greatly appreciated. The event is this Saturday. Masters of Ring Entertainment presents Lasting Legacy, a tribute to Jim Cornette, and Fan Expo. Caught it between words. I'm doing good today. It's this Saturday night, March 7th. The Fan Expo is from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Already slated to be there. Of course, Jim Cornette. Harley Race, Ted DiBiase, Tom Pritchard, Robbie E., Stan Lane, Bobby Eaton, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express, the man who has been behind most wrestling journalism for the last 273 years, Bill Apter. And
see, I would like to. If there was one person I would like to meet, wonderful Willie Apter. I would love to have him on the show, just to pick his brain for everything he's.
Oh God, that'd be hilarious, and that'd take forever. Actually, we may get him in the near future. Bambi is actually kind enough to help us try to work out getting Apter on. Also, scheduled to appear, good friend of mine over on the from actually events that I've worked before. Damn it, the Stro, former WCW superstar, Maestro.
What events would that be, Eddie?
Say what?
What events would that be?
Well, let's go ahead and say the first time I met him was at the National Wrestling Alliance Super Show at the Ohio State Fairgrounds in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh God, we haven't dragged that old horse out in a while. I figured we needed to, give it a quiz.
I didn't know if you'd remember that.
Oh, that's why I said it.
That's funny. Also, from that point. Lasting Legacy Tribute to Jim Cornette. A number of the great stars are going to be there. Once again, that is the tribute is going to be from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. There's going to be great opportunities for a meet and greet, live professional wrestling taking place, and one of our favorite people in the whole wide world is slated to host the event. And his mustache.
The Wicked Nemesis?
And his mustache.
Oh, the beast. And the mustache of the beast.
Yes. Actually, I spoke with Mr. I'll tell you this on air. I was going to wait till off air. Mr. Koloff is actually going to try to set up a photo op, the Russian chain versus Dan Severn's mustache.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever seen a mustache break a chain? Well, you're gonna.
And that, my friends, is what's called a mark out moment. For me, it was. I don't give a damn. But check out mastersofringentertainment.com. Also want to give a very special hello and shout out this evening to a good friend of ours, Michael Elliott with Elbow Productions. That's ELLBOW Productions. Almost got it out. Mr. Elliott has come out with a DVD set, a documentary on the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff. You can get that documentary through Ivan's website at ivankoloff.com or through Elbow Productions. Once again, if you look it up, it's ELLBOW Productions. Also, like I said, he's got his book available. Definitely check it out. It's a great read. I hope you do take the opportunity. So, and thank you again, Bambi at Masters of Ring Entertainment. Looking forward to having you back on after everything's said, done, and over with me. I might try to get her back next Tuesday to try to set up to see how everything went. I'd love to make it up there. And I think that's going to be like a 9-hour drive that I'm not ready to make right now. I'm really not, but I'd love to. But the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff, thank you again for coming on. A great pleasure. Thank you again, Dr. Tom Pritchard, for coming on last week. Honor to have you back on board. And let me go and do this.
This is Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear. I'm excited because I'm locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Ha! Got it that time. Once again, mark out moment. Thank you, Mr. Koloff. Folks, we're going to wrap it up from here real quick. I'm going to go ahead and throw it in this direction. Tomorrow, which is going to be March 4, and I know I'm not going to hear the end of it when I actually called the wrong date during the JYD Memorial Tag Tournament. I did say 2014 one time, but that's my fault. That was before the chair shot, too, so I can't blame it. March 4th, 9 o'clock p.m., the To Be Determined show with the Wicked Nemesis, Angie Travis, Clyde Braddock, and even more. Thursday, the new Thursday double play, or as I like to call it, a double shot. Thank you. Thursday the 5th, 7 p.m. Central, Cause and Effect present the Thursday Night Radio Throwdown, 9 p.m. Central. Ted Guinness presents the show with Ted Guinness, all things WWE and then some. Looking forward to this. Saturday Showcase will broadcast this coming Saturday, March 7, just before I get ready to take a road trip. And if the airfare is cheap enough, I'll change my plans and go to Wilmington. BR Live will not broadcast this week on Sunday the 8th. Wrestle Rage Radio will broadcast live, and of course the new episode of the Midnight Black Mass will be here on BR Radio as well. Keep your eyes open on BeyondRingside.com. Check out the media page for previous episodes and interviews. Check out the roundtable page, and of course, for me personally, check out Fast Eddie Layne, LAYNE.com. I can't do it like Peanut does. I've got a bad voice right now. .com. See, it just doesn't work. I'm going to go.
That and you're freaking drunk like Otis from Mayberry over there.
I'm not drunk. I'm on antibiotics, too. I can't drink right now.
I'm not drunk. I'm just not sober.
I didn't say anything about not smoking a salmon when I get off air tonight. Folks, also at Beyond Ringside on Twitter, Facebook.com/Beyond Ringside Live is the Facebook fan page. To everybody who's been downloading the Beyond Ringside radio app for Amazon, Android, and BlackBerry, thank you. Apple, we're still trying. I swear we really are. Ustream, Winamp, Shoutcast, TuneIn Radio, thank you for listening through the various sources. If you're listening on a replay through iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. We all do appreciate it. Until next time, for a very special guest, the Russian Bear Ivan Koloff. I just want to say thank you to nephew Nikita. That almost worked.
No.
I like Rusev, but I like Lana better. I like to see her Russian Bare. No. I like it. That didn't totally suck.
No.
Okay. For Mark,
apparently the antibiotics make you think you're funnier than you are.
No, I blame that on the chair shot.
I would too. Yeah, just stick with that.
I will never forget. Plain and simple.
I don't know. After the chair shots, you might.
Shut up. For Mark MaBo Bowman.
I just got to know, when you smoke the salmon, how do you keep it lit?
Trust me, it stays lit.
Oh, and real quick, let me just throw it out there because I just got the information today. I'm sure Wicked and Miss Angie would appreciate this. Miss Angie's sister, Jennifer, she's also a good friend of mine. She is going in for surgery tomorrow, so if everybody could just kind of, just keep her in your thoughts, prayers, good vibes, whatever whether you're, religious or non-religious, whatever belief you have and positivity, just kind of keep her and, Miss Angie and Wick and, that whole family, just kind of keep them in mind as she gets prepped for surgery, hopefully tomorrow. I meant to say that earlier.
Cool. There was a birthday today, and I'm trying to remember what the hell. I'm trying to remember who all's having birthdays today and earlier this week. Son of a gun. I'm sorry.
Hanson had a birthday.
Say what?
Warbeard Hanson had a birthday today.
I don't have him on the friends list. I got to work on that, too. I got to find him.
Todd Smith.
But let's take it home. Did you ever say bye-bye?
I'm already home. I don't know where you are. I'm already home.
I'm in Studio 1.
Well, hopefully it's not a long walk.
Oh, and for the record, at Big Time Wrestling's Carolina Spring Bash, Gunner will take on the Southern Savior, John Schuyler. That's going to be a good match.
Why does that name sound familiar?
It should. We'll talk later. 4. You already said goodnight. So I'm going to go ahead and say, this is the Magic City Motormouth, what's his name? Blame the chair shot for my amnesia. Hashtag Helldamn, kiss my ass. Heh. You have to listen to get it. Adios, das vidania, hasta luego, auf Wiedersehen, ciao, sayonara, adieu, arrivederci, farewell, abbassinia, au revoir, and until we meet again, aloha means bye-bye, and I made it through without a hiccup. Join us.
I was just going to say that.
Join us next time as we all go. Damn it. Son of a bitch. Beyond Ringside. Bye for now.